We decided to put together this presentation as a result of all the recent attention concussions have received in the media. Here's an example of one such story from the nightly news.
I went up to kick the ball kind of high, and I got knocked off, and my head hit first, and then I landed on the ground.
But minutes later, Jacob Singer was back in the game. He didn't black out, so he didn't think twice. Neither did his coach or his parents.
I was always under the impression that you have a concussion if you get knocked out. He was not knocked out.
But the next day, Jacob's seemingly minor sports injury sidelined him from everything.
I had really bad headaches, like migraine.
A trip to his doctor, Richard Hyman, brought a startling diagnosis, a serious concussion, one that kept Jacob out of school for 2 weeks and away from the sport he loves even longer.
But I fear I would have missed that 5 or 10 years ago.
But thanks to research being done right here in Ohio by Akron Dr. Joe Conjeni, pediatricians are learning that as many as 80% of concussions have gone undiagnosed, especially those that occur during sporting events. The problem, kids are sent right back in, and a second brain injury could have lifelong, even deadly consequences.
A lot of people that have chronic headaches for the rest of their life were people that had multiple concussions when they were young.
Recent research shows multiple concussions could also lead to hyperactivity disorders, learning disorders, depression, and a rare but deadly condition known as second impact syndrome, a reality that shocked even doctors.
My jaw dropped open, and I'm looking at page after page and saying to myself, wow, I haven't been handling this right for the last 35 years.
Which is why Dr. Conjeni is trying to spread the word that a child doesn't have to take a direct blow to the head to suffer a concussion. He calls it a silent epidemic that parents, coaches, and doctors need to take more seriously.
But when it comes to the possibility of a brain injury, there's no place to tough it out.
A lesson learned the hard way by this parent whose son was put on complete brain rest, no TV, no schoolwork, nothing, in order for his bruised brain to heal.
Jake slept pretty much for 4 days straight.
But today, Jacob's back in the game, and on the sidelines, his mom is now on the defensive.
Now I know if my kids hit their head, I'm not just going to say, oh, you'll be fine.
What is a concussion? A concussion, according to Webster's dictionary, is the most common type of traumatic brain injury, resulting from violently shaking the brain. Wikipedia defines concussion as a head injury with a temporary loss of brain function. We began using impact testing 3 years ago as a tool to help us manage concussions at Loomis Chaffee. IMPACT stands for Immediate Post-Concussion Assessment and Cognitive Testing. It's a computer-based program that measures brain function. We require baseline testing of all our students. The test measures brain functions in areas such as attention span, memory, problem solving, and reaction time. We store each baseline test. If a head injury occurs, the same measurements are repeated. The pre- and post-concussion test results are a piece of the diagnostic evaluation process. IMPACT is a nationally recognized evaluation program developed at the University of Pittsburgh. The following video segment talks about the use of IMPACT at a Boston area high school.
Competing in their big rivalry games, and it'll be no surprise if some of those kids take some big blows to the head, forcing them out of the game because of a concussion. But there's a new test that can help determine when they're ready to safely get back in the game. Whether it's football, soccer, or any other contact sport, concussions are a part of the game. But the days when a player was told to shake it off are in the past.
For years, they were kind of grossly mismanaged.
Multiple concussions have ended the careers of expatriate Ted Johnson, Troy Aikman, and Steve Young. But concussions don't just happen in the pros. Last year, high school athletes had 150,000 concussions. PJ Pender, a football player with Westwood High, was one of them.
I just found myself sitting on the bench, and I didn't really know how I got there. I had a lot of memory trouble.
Yeah, classic signs of concussion.
Schools are beginning to take the warning signs seriously, and they're pulling student athletes who show signs of concussions out of the game. But some schools are taking it a step further. They're using a test to determine when a student athlete's brain has healed enough to safely put them back in.
This kind of neurocognitive testing is designed to assess the things that we know change in concussions.
Dr. Neil McGrath runs Sports Concussion New England and is offering the program to nearly 24 Massachusetts schools. IMPACT measures short-term memory, processing speed, and reaction times in pro athletes and students.
the testing comes in to help us understand, as their symptoms clear, are all signs pointing to the fact that they're really recovered and ready to go again.
Before any injuries, students take a baseline test to measure their normal scores. After a bad hit, like in PJ's case, the student is tested several times. When the scores return to normal, the student can begin to play again.
It gives us more objective data to use in that overall plan of when to return them to play, when to return them to exertion, and then return them to contact.
For PJ, his post-concussion scores sidelined him for 6 weeks until his brain healed and he was ready to get back in the game.
When you do identify these injuries and remove the student quickly and get them to their doctor so that they can be properly evaluated, the injuries recover very well.
Loomis Chaffee students receive concussions in a variety of different ways, not just by hitting their heads during athletic contests.
Oh! Ow!
Are you okay?
Oh!
Whether a student receives a blow to the head at home or away, they must report to the Loomis Chaffee Health Center immediately.
Hi, what's up? Come on in.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I just got back from a game at Avon. I got hit in the head, and my coach brought me here.
Okay, let's come in. We'll check you out, okay?
The Loomis Chaffee nurse on duty will complete the initial head injury evaluation form, call the parent and dorm head, and instruct the student to return to be evaluated by the nurse practitioner the following day.
Hi, can I help you?
Hi, my name is Tyler. I was seen last night by a nurse, and she told me to come in today for an appointment with the nurse practitioner, Mrs. Hirsch.
Let me pull your chart, Tyler. Why don't you come on in? Hi, I'm Bernadette Hurst. How are you?
Good, I'm Tyler.
Hi, Tyler. I'm the nurse practitioner here at the school. So let me get your chart and we can have a talk.
Okay.
Have a seat. So, Tyler, you came in last night, I see, here from your chart. And you were hit in the lacrosse game?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you tell me a little bit more what happened?
Well, I was going down the field looking over my shoulder to get a pass, and it was just a head-on collision, and knocked down. I got back up, and my vision was a little bit blurry.
Did you lose consciousness at that point?
No, I didn't.
So then what happened?
At that point, I pretty much walked off the field and just sat down on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Any ringing in your ears at that point?
At that point, there was.
How about a headache?
Yes.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say your headache was at the time of injury?
8 or 9.
And what is it today?
Well, I took some Advil this morning, so it's maybe a 5 or a 6.
5 or a 6, okay. And what time did you take the Advil this morning?
About 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay, so does your coach know from your lacrosse?
Yes, he does.
He does. Did he send you over here?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes the coaches don't know about injuries, and that's why I like to ask, because we try to communicate to them about that. Sometimes the coaches know and see actually what happened and send you here. Nonetheless, you're here. You're a boarder student, so I'll see you every day, and then I'll examine you. Today, however, will be the longest appointment because I need to go through a thorough assessment and ask you many questions. Okay? Because my whole goal, and as the trainers are in our concussion protocol, we want to return you back to play. We also want to return you to academic life and make sure that you don't have a headache or symptom-free. Okay, so we have a lot of information to share. A lot of this is a little bit too much for the first day, so I'm going to leave you with a handout, and each and every day I'll review this with you, make sure that you not only understand it, and you'll sign this for me, but if you have questions each day, we'll emphasize the health teaching to get you better faster. Okay, Tyler, well, we had a lengthy discussion and a very good visit. As I had said before, You're going to take this concussion treatment guideline with you, review it. If you have any questions, I'll see you each and every morning. And you said to me that 10 o'clock is good for you for tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Okay, so take a look at this, and we know that we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if you have any questions. So that is for you.
Okay.
And this is the Advil that we talked about, taking after meals and at bedtime if you need to.
Okay.
If you run out, please come over. I'll always make sure that you have enough.
Okay.
I know you said you have no drug allergies, so please take this because we want your headache to go down.
Okay.
Okay, Tyler, it was very nice meeting you,
Nice to
and I'll
meet you,
see
too.
you each day.
Okay.
To review the process, the Loomis Chaffee protocol for head injury includes initial evaluation at the Loomis Chaffee Health Center, diagnostic evaluation by our nurse practitioner. Day students may be evaluated by their own healthcare provider, with the final decision being made by our medical personnel, and notification of key faculty members who are shown on this slide. The actual text of the notification email can be seen in the box on the slide. We would like you to all be aware of the following initial signs and symptoms of concussion. They include confusion, memory loss, headache, dizziness, ringing in the ears, nausea or vomiting, and fatigue. It is also important for you to know that sometimes signs and symptoms don't occur until days or hours after the incident. These may include concentration difficulties, sensitivity to light and noise, sleep disturbances, irritability, and depression. Following diagnosis by the nurse practitioner, Loomis Chaffee students must read and sign the concussion treatment guidelines pamphlet. Each day following diagnosis, students must return to the nurse practitioner for evaluation. Once asymptomatic and deemed neurologically clear, the nurse practitioner refers the student to the athletic trainers for post-concussion testing.
Hi.
Hi, what's up? Okay, here to take your post-concussion test?
Yes,
All right,
I am.
Follow me.
Okay.
And right this way, you can sit down at the first computer.
On the screen now are actual examples of the test, which include 6 different modules. The first, word memory. The second module, which you can see now, is called design memory. The third piece, X's and O's, measures visual working memory and visual processing speed. It also involves a distractor task. The 3 modules you have not seen are symbol matching, color matching, and 3-letter memory. The post-concussion test is combined with the student's baseline test and brought to the nurse practitioner for review. If it's determined by the nurse practitioner that the student passed, the student is instructed to see an athletic trainer for development of the 5-day return to play protocol. The health center informs all the same people who were initially notified of the student's concussion by email. The text of the email can be seen in the box. The athletic trainer notifies the parent and the coach of the test result and also reviews the 5-day return to play protocol. If the student fails the test, they're instructed to return for another post-test, usually in 3 days. Here's an example of the 5-day return to play protocol. The protocol represents a stepwise return to play based on exertion. The protocol may be extended if the student once again becomes symptomatic.
Good luck, fellas. Have fun.